Ending slavery might result in the mixing of the races and blacks competing with whites for work. Mountain whites lived in the valleys of the Appalachian Range from West Virginia to northern Georgia and Alabama. They were independent small farmers hundreds of miles from the Cotton Kingdom. They lived in rough frontier environment, hated wealthy planters and slaves, and during the Civil War they were Unionists, which was significant in crippling the Confederacy. Free blacks numbered about 250,000 in the South by 1860. In the border South, emancipation from Revolutionary days increased. In the lower South, many free blacks were mulattoes, white father, black mother. Some had purchased their freedom with earnings from labor after hours. Some owned property. New Orleans had a sizable, prosperous mulatto community. A few even owned slaves, although this was rare. Discrimination in the South. Prohibited from certain occupations and from testifying against whites in court. Always in danger of being forced back into slavery by slave traders, became a fearful symbol of what might be achieved by emancipation. Discrimination in the North. Blacks also numbered about 250,000. Some states forbade their entrance or denied them public education. Most states denied them suffrage. Some states segregated blacks in public facilities, especially hated by Irish immigrants with whom they competed with for jobs. Much of Northern sentiment against spread of slavery into new territories due to the intense race prejudice, not humanitarianism. The anti-black feeling frequently stronger in the North than in the South. The first abolitionist movements began around the time of the Revolution, especially the Quakers. Some of these movements focused on transporting blacks back to Africa. The American Colonization Society. They were founded in 1817 to create practical solutions vis-a-vis free blacks if slavery was ended. Recolonization was the solution, supported by many prominent Northerners and Southerners who were afraid that manumission would create a surplus of free blacks in American society. The Republic of Liberia established with Western African coast for former slaves in 1822. 15,000 freed blacks transported over the next 4 decades. Most blacks did not wish to be transplanted in an unfamiliar environment. They believed they were part of America's growth, and they had American culture. By 1860, virtually all Southern slaves were native-born Americans. Colonization appealed to most Northerners and some anti-slaverites, including Lincoln, who believed that blacks and whites could not coexist in a free society. Some feared a mongrelization of the white race. Others thought blacks were inferior. They did not want them in large numbers in their states. Abolitionists in the 1830s. The Second Great Awakening convinced abolitionists of the sin of slavery. Abolitionists inspired that Britain emancipated their slaves in the West Indies in 1833. Radical abolitionism. William Lloyd Garrison, who published his first issue of his Liberator, a militant anti-slavery newspaper in Boston in 1831. He demanded virtuous North secede from the wicked South, yet never explained how such an act would end Southern slavery. Criticized by even some of his followers for offering no solution. He inspired dedicated abolitionists to found the American Anti-Slavery Society. Theodore Dwight Weld, evangelized by Charles Grandison Finney in New York's burned-over district in the 1820s, and appealed to rural audiences of uneducated farmers. Traveled with his followers preaching abolitionism in the Old Northwest. In his book, American Slavery as It Is, was among the most effective abolitionist writings. He married Angelina Grimke, a Southern abolitionist. Wendell Phillips was an ostracized Boston patrician. He was abolition's golden trumpet. Perhaps he was one of the most important abolitionists, due to his major impact on politics during the Civil War for emancipation. He was one of the finest orators of the 19th century. His product of the puritanical fervor of the Second Great Awakening.